Have you ever felt like someone you know has been replaced by an imposter? It's a strange question, isn't it? But for some, this uncanny feeling is a daily reality, not a passing suspicion. This is the world of Capgras syndrome, a psychological condition where an individual firmly believes that a familiar person, often a loved one, has been substituted by an identical imposter. A peculiar condition indeed, a world where nothing is as it seems and those closest to you feel like perfect strangers. Imagine living with this belief every day. That's Capgras syndrome. Now you might be wondering, how does one identify Capgras syndrome? Well, the most prominent sign is the unshakable belief that a loved one or a familiar person has been replaced by an identical imposter. This delusion isn't a fleeting thought, it's a firm conviction that persists despite all evidence to the contrary. Along with this belief, individuals with Capgras syndrome may also exhibit high levels of anxiety. This anxiety is typically tied to the presence of the perceived imposter. Imagine the distress of believing that someone close to you isn't who they appear to be. This anxiety can be so intense that it leads to social withdrawal or even aggression towards the imposter. These symptoms can profoundly impact an individual's life, straining relationships and causing significant distress. It's also important to remember that Capgras syndrome often coexists with other conditions such as schizophrenia, brain injuries, dementia, and other neurodegenerative diseases. So if your loved one starts accusing you of being an imposter, it might be more than just a quirky joke. It could be a sign of Capgras syndrome and might be the time to seek professional help. But what could possibly cause such a strange belief, you may wonder? The roots of Capgras syndrome are as intriguing as the syndrome itself. It's not a simple matter of someone's imagination going overboard. This disorder often emerges from more profound issues, such as a brain injury, dementia, schizophrenia, or other neurodegenerative diseases. Imagine the brain as a bustling city. The temporal cortex, the region responsible for recognizing faces, is like the city's surveillance system, spotting and identifying everyone. Meanwhile, the limbic system, involved in emotions, is like the citizens' hearts, generating feelings towards the recognized faces. In a healthy brain, these two regions are well connected, like a city with good communication lines. However, in the case of Capgras syndrome, it's as if a storm has hit this brain city, disrupting the communication lines between these regions. The surveillance system can still identify faces, but the emotional response from the heart of the city is missing. This disconnection can lead to a chilling belief that a familiar person has been replaced by an imposter despite looking identical. Curiously, the syndrome could also be related to conditions like diabetes, hypothyroidism, and even migraine attacks. So it's not just a case of mistaken identity, it's a complex interplay of brain functions gone awry. Identifying an imposter might be tricky, but diagnosing Capgras syndrome isn't any easier. This peculiar disorder can often be elusive, hiding behind the masks of other conditions like schizophrenia, dementia, or brain injury. But when suspicion arises, a comprehensive psychiatric evaluation becomes the key to unmasking this imposter. The evaluation involves a deep dive into the individual's mental health history, their present symptoms, and any potential brain injuries. Brain scans may also be employed to identify any structural damage or abnormalities that could be playing a part in this grand masquerade. But what's next once the diagnosis is confirmed? Well, it's about taking steps to manage the symptoms and improve quality of life. Treatment involves a blend of medication and therapy. Antipsychotic drugs, for instance, can help to alleviate hallucinations and delusions. Cognitive behavioral therapy, on the other hand, can assist in coping with the disorder, offering tools to manage symptoms and promote a healthier mental state. Let's remember, though, every individual is unique, and so the treatment plan must be tailored to meet their specific needs. It's a team effort involving doctors, therapists, and the patient's support system, all working together to help the individual navigate their world. While there is no cure, there are ways to manage Capgras syndrome and help individuals lead a more normal life. Let's take a step back in time to understand the origins of Capgras syndrome. This perplexing condition takes its name from Joseph Capgras, a French psychiatrist who first documented it. Capgras meticulously described the syndrome's fascinating yet baffling characteristics, painting a picture of a mind deceived by its own recognition system. Since then, the syndrome has been a subject of intense scrutiny, with experts trying to unravel its complex organic basis. Research has shed light on possible connections between structural brain damage, particularly in the frontal lobe and right hemisphere, and the development of Capgras syndrome. From its discovery to our understanding today, Capgras syndrome continues to baffle and intrigue the world of psychology. So there you have it, Capgras syndrome in a nutshell. A fascinating condition where a person believes their loved ones have been replaced by identical imposters. It's a complex psychiatric disorder often associated with conditions like schizophrenia, brain injury, dementia, and other neurodegenerative diseases. There's a lot to unpack, from the signs and symptoms like intense paranoia and social withdrawal to the myriad of causes, including structural brain damage and potential disconnections between the face recognition and emotional response areas of the brain. Diagnosing Capgras can be challenging due to its rarity and complex nature. Yet, with the right treatment plan, which may include medication, psychotherapy, and family education, individuals with Capgras syndrome can manage their symptoms and lead healthier lives. If you've enjoyed this journey into the realm of the unfamiliar and intriguing, consider giving us a thumbs up. For more explorations of the human mind, don't forget to follow our channel, Brain Outside the Box. Before you go, share your thoughts on Capgras syndrome. Have you heard about it before? Do you know someone who has experienced it? Let us know in the comments below.